All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to iHeart Sports. Alex Art here, and today we're doing the July 28th MLB games. We got 15 of them. We had one postponement yesterday. Somewhat of a COVID outbreak seems to be going on in Washington, so the Washington Phillies game was postponed, but we had a doubleheader to make up for it, so we still had 15 games. The trade deadline is starting to heat up. Joey Gallo rumors going to the New York Yankees, not quite finalized yet, but I think at this point everyone suspects that's going to go through. We had Starling Marte be dealt to the Oakland A's, the biggest part of that return. Jesus Luzardo going back to Miami. Big trade. Luzardo been out for most of the season right now with a broken hand or broken thing in his hand for smashing his hand. Video game related. And then we also have Escobar being traded from the Diamondbacks going to the Milwaukee Brewers. A big trade for the Brewers. They're really setting up themselves for a postseason, adding to the offense. As we all know, offense had been their weakness, but seems to be really well addressed by them. So looking forward to how they're going to go with that. We have 15 games. We're going to jump into that. Let me know what you guys think of the trades that happened yesterday. We have lots more coming. Still 2 days of trade deadline trades to go down. We still got a lot of guys on the market. I think Scherzer, Story are the two big names still left out there, but plenty more as teams start to go, especially with the Chicago Cubs blowing their team up. But let's jump into the games. Indians 7, Cardinals 2. These two teams are basically battling for 500 at this point, and I would like to say at this point I would believe that both these teams are relatively out of it, but they still got to play baseball, and the games are still very much for them mean a lot, and they're quite exciting. Cardinals were out to a 1-0 lead, but Indians quickly had a 4 spot in the 3rd inning and added 2 more in the 6th to take a 7-2 lead at that point. We're 4 innings in, and then after that, no more runs coming through. For now, Reyes leading the way for the Indians. He had 2 home runs in this game, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. A monster night for him. Cesar Hernandez hits his 18th, and Jose Ramirez now has back-to-back home runs. Another guy that's potentially on the trade market. He's up to 22. Carlson leads the way for the Cardinals, 2-hit RBI night, his 11th home run as a part of it. Kim struggles in this one, going 2.25 earned runs and no strikeouts. He gave up 4 home runs. All the home runs coming off his hand in those first 3 innings. And Zach Plesac goes 5 2 earned runs and 4 Ks. In his win, he's now 6-3 on the season. Indians have a lot of ground to make up, but you never know. Could happen along the way. Moving along, we got a football kind of game here. 17 for the Tigers, 14 for the Twins. Biggest story here is the Tigers made history in that they were out-homered by 7, and they still won the game. The first team to ever do that, get out-homered by 7, still won the game. And believe it or not, out of those 17 runs, none of them were home runs. We're talking everyone in their lineup having hits, multiple guys having multi-hit nights. And I guess if you had to pick someone to lead the way, it was probably Hasse. No. I don't know, it's pretty spread out, really, looking at it here. Hill leading the way with the most hits, but RBI-wise, we have a couple. Hasse with 3, Candelario with 3. Overall, it's just like they generated all of their runs. Badu had his 17th double. We had Castro with a triple, but no home runs for them. And then if you go to the Twin side, we had 7 home runs. Miguel Sano leading the way with 3 hits, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. He's up to 17. Jeffers also had 2 home runs. He had 6 RBIs, and he fell short. He's up to 8. And then we have Kepler with his 14th, Rooker with his 4th, and Polanco with his 15th. Overall, he had 7 home runs, and they fell way short. J.A. Happ goes 3, 9 earned runs. And J.A. Happ just been an atrocious season for him. Willie Peralta goes 3.1, giving up 6 himself. And then the bullpen gave up another 8 along the way. And this game was just crazy, back and forth. The Tigers were actually up 10-0 at one point in this game. Going into the bottom of the 4th, trailing by 10, the Twins put up a 6 spot, but Tigers answered back with 3 more later in the game. They're up 13-6. And then another 6 spot from the Twins made it 13-12 at the time. And then in the 9th inning, we saw 6 more runs, which brought this game final score, like I said, football score 17-14. I couldn't believe it. Very exciting game to watch in the afternoon. Blue Jays 4, Red Sox 1. This was the first half, the doubleheader. I was told that the Red Sox should have won this game as well because they had the bases loaded, no out at one point, but didn't happen. Grichuk led the way with his 19th home run of the season, a 2-run bomb, and Springer as well hitting a 9-run bomb, both of them coming off Garrett Richards, who gave up a couple of home runs. Grichuk had a 2-hit, 3 RBI night, and on the other side, no home runs, so the RBI being hit in by J.D. Martinez. Richards goes 4 earned runs, giving up 2 home runs, and Ricky Ray goes 6 1 run, 8 Ks. Again, it's a 7-inning outing, so that kind of favors the Blue Jays at this point because they don't have to deal with their bullpen. But in this second game, they did have to put out their bullpen, but it was Steven Matz who really got beat around. Duran had a nice triple in this game that ended up being an in-the-park home run that was scored as a triple and an error off Springer when he sent one to the gap. And yeah, the Red Sox came back in game 2 and won 4-1, so it was vice versa the second round around. Howick goes 4 1 7 Ks, another good outing for him. It's been a couple good outings for him in a row here. Steven Matz goes 3.14 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. Couldn't get out of that fourth inning. Just after his team brought him within 1, he just couldn't get it done, and the Jays end up losing. So the Red Sox now will tie the series. Worst case scenario. Astros 11, Mariners 4. Mariners off defense or pitching has really struggled the past couple games, even the third game where they actually came back and won. In this game, again, they're falling behind early by a big score, and they just can't dig themselves out of these holes consistently. The Astros were up 8-0 going in the bottom of the 6th, where the Mariners finally put up a couple runs, but it was way too late. Gurriel hits his 11th of the season, Tucker his 20th, so it's just a couple of solo shots, or a couple of, I guess it wasn't, Tucker's was a 2-run bomb, but there's a couple of shots. Gurriel leading the way, 3-hit, 3 RBI. Seager, 21st, and Toro now, back-to-back games. Back-to-back games, actually, they already hit a home run. 1 for the Astros, 2 for the Mariners. Quite interesting how that's going. Kikuchi goes 5, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks. And Odorizzi goes 5.1, 3 earned runs, and 3 Ks. In the win, his 4th of the season. Astros really cementing their lead in the division and making the Mariners know that, hey, you're not ready to take over the division. Wild card maybe you can have, but division not so much. Athletics 10, Padres 4. The Athletics must have been a little hype now that they have Starling Marte on the way, giving up one of their best prospects probably to pitching prospect, but they got to be excited. They got out to a huge lead here too. They were up 10-0 before that. Padres even added a run in the 7th. It was just a solo run, and they added 3 more innocent ones in the bottom of the 9th. Sean Manaea continues to be dominant this season. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 9 Ks, sporting a 3.01 ERA. He's definitely possibly working his way into the conversation for Cy Young in the American League side at the very least. Snell on the other side, 4 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. He's had a rough season. San Diego definitely didn't get the player they were trading for with Blake Snell. So, yeah, Matt Chapman hits his 13th of the season. It's the only home run in this game. Overall, he goes 2 hits, 3 RBIs. And Andrus, the guy who's possibly being replaced when Marte comes over, who knows what's going on. He had a 3-hit, 2 RBI night. Marte's probably going to win the outfield, right? We would suspect at this point. Moving along, Orioles 8, Marlins 7, and this was a big comeback. The Orioles were down 5-0 early in this one before putting up a 3 spot in the bottom of the second and a 2 in the third to tie it up 5-5. But the Marlins immediately took the lead back in that 4th inning, putting up 2 runs of their own. Aguilar hitting his 18th home run off of Lopez in the 2nd inning. Severino hitting his 6th, and Mancini hitting his 19th early in this game as well. And then it was the late innings where the Orioles tied it up in the 8th inning off a couple of nice hits. And then we have a 9th inning where the Marlins gave up 4 walks off of Okert, who comes in there, gives up 4 walks. He ends up walking in the leading run, which gives the Orioles a nice win. Now this series is split 1-1, and I think they only played 2 games, so that might be it. But it was interesting to see how these guys match up, definitely when it comes to power ranking side. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, but we could see some transition in some of those teams. Brewers 7, Pirates 3, and Brewers just adding again. They added to their offense as well. They're bringing in Escobar. He's going to be a big add for this team. They've been definitely making trades all season long with their offense. Tellez has been in there. Now Escobar is in there. Dames has been added. So a big part of their lineup always are new players halfway through the season. Brewers were at 7-0 by the time the Pirates even got on the board in the bottom of the 7th. And the Pirates added a couple innocent ones in the 9th, including a home run off of Hader. Castro had 2 home runs in this game, and one of them coming off of Hader. No home runs coming for Brewers, so still looking for a little bit of that offense. Alvarez Garcia leads the way with 3 hits and an RBI, and Hauser goes 5. No earned runs, 2 Ks, keeping the Pirates at bay. And Laura comes in for the long relief, and Kranick for the Pirates goes 5, 6 earned runs. His ERA is 7.31. Definitely going to be a rough end to the season with the Pirates giving up pretty much their top of their lineup with Adam Frazier gone now. Moving along, we got the Mets 2, Braves 1. Mets answering back after yesterday, getting a little bit of a beat down, and it was a pitching performance for them, as what we tend to see from the Mets side of things. Diaz coming in for his 23rd save of the season. Drury hits his 4th home run of the season, which is the home run that takes the lead, and they don't have to look back after that. Austin Riley continues to be pretty hot here. He had a solo shot, his 20th of the season, so that's back-to-back days with him having a home run, but he's the only one that got anyone in. The top of the lineup managed to get a couple hits, but they couldn't string anything together. 9 hits, 1 run for the Braves. Max Fried goes 7, 2 runs, 9 Ks. He's going to get the loss, but again, it's a nice performance by Fried. He's had an up-and-down season all season long. McGill for the Mets, 5.1, 106 Ks. McGill has been such a great add. Calling him up with all the injuries, he probably might not have seen it without these injuries, but he's performed up to expectations. Mets got to be happy with how that's going. Yankees 3, Rays 1. Boston fans can rejoice that the Yankees won this one in the top of the 10th. They put up 2 runs in that inning. They exchanged runs in the 4th and 5th, but there wasn't a lot of offense in this game. Definitely a pitcher's duel. 7 hits for the Yankees, a couple of those coming in that 10th inning, so overall not a lot going on. No home runs from either side, and the Yankees, it's top of their lineup that is pretty much getting all the hits, but they're only single hits. No one on the whole game got 2 hits in this one. Waka goes 5, no earned runs, 9 Ks. Waka, we haven't seen a performance like that since he was back in St. Louis. And Cortez getting the start in this one. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. That mustache is definitely something to look at. And Chapman comes in for his 20th save of the season. Yankees making up some ground. My money's on them to make a move, and with Gallo potentially coming in, and it seems that there's no reason for them not to. They're just going to finalize the deal. Yankees are definitely going to be the favorite, but Oakland adding 2. It's going to be interesting who takes that second wild card spot. Reds 8, Cubs 2. Reds answering back, and Joey Votto showing that he still has it. Back-to-back days now where this man has hit 2 home runs, and the Reds pretty much out to this one. They are up 4-0 about halfway through, and then they just piled it on. It was 8-0. The Cubs didn't even score any runs till the bottom of the 9th inning, where they generated a couple of runs. Not really any home RBIs. Bodie comes in there late. Votto, like I said, 2 home runs in this game. One of them coming in the 9th, but 19 on the season. Malay goes 6, 0 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. So finally a little bit of a good outing for him. I know there's a lot of talk that he's had, since the sticky stuff has come in, that he's had a lot of problems with his rotation. His spin rotation has actually struggled a little bit, but he's good to see him come around. And Davies goes 6, 4 earned runs, and 8 Ks in the loss, and the Cubs are now 3 games below 500 and falling quickly. It's only a matter of time before we see some trades coming out of there. Diamondbacks 3, Rangers 2. So the Diamondbacks hitting up on the Rangers, even though they lost yesterday, and they answered right back. Escobar clearly not in the lineup at all. He was on the move before this game got underway. Peralta for the Diamondbacks, it's his 5th, and Varsho his 5th as well. Diamondbacks actually had to have a comeback in this one. They were down 2-1 about halfway through, so that 8th inning home run off Varsho gives them the lead. And no home runs on the Texas side. And Gallo, again, not in the lineup on this one, but the at the time, the trade's still not finalized, and they made sure to let me know of that on the Yankees broadcast when I was watching that game. Bumgarner goes 7, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. Arizona, their starting pitching rotation's been pretty solid. They got to be excited with what the future may hold if Bumgarner can actually keep it together. And then we see Lyles going 7, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks in the no decision before Martin comes in and blows it. Tyler Clippard looks like he comes in for the Diamondbacks and gets his first save of the season. Moving along with Royals 3, White Sox 2, and the White Sox let this one get away from them. They were up 2-0 halfway through, and 1 run added for the Kansas City in the 7th. And then in the 9th inning, the hero of Kansas City, he seems to just have what it takes late in games. In the 9th inning, Salvador Perez hits his 24th home run of the season with 1 out against Liam Hendricks. Not a lot of times we see Hendricks getting into trouble too often, but it seems to be in important games where he sometimes falls apart here, and Perez gets that home run to tie up the game, and then Kansas City in the 10th inning finds a way to win it. Bubic goes 6, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, and Giolito goes 6, 1 earned runs, 7 Ks. Both these guys, amazing performance. We're starting to see Kansas City starters get some good, solid performances, and it's been a while. It's been a long season for them for sure. Hendricks gets charged with his 5th blown save of the season, and the White Sox now, they lost the series to the Royals, so a little bit of concern there, but at the same time, this division is pretty much, maybe that's causing some issues with the White Sox as of late. Like, they don't have a whole lot of urgency in their game, and that could carry over into the playoffs if they're not careful. So we're hoping to see them turn it around. Angels 8, Rockies 7. The Angels are now 1 game above 500, and they needed this to even have a chance to keep their name in the conversation for wild card. Rockies were at 2-1 after 1, and then 3-1 heading into the bottom of the 4th, where the Angels just popped off with a 5-run inning, led off the bat of Ohtani, who hits his 37th home run of the season. 2-hit, 3 RBI night for him. He had a 3-run bomb. Upton hits his 15th, and Stassi hits his 9th. To me, the Angels are very similar to the Blue Jays in that they have the offense. The pitching just needs to come along a little bit more. Trevor Story hits his 13th of the season as well. Of course, he's very much on the rumors. He's batting .240. He had 3 strikeouts in this game, so some concern there. But Tapia leading the way at the top of the lineup with a 4-hit, 2 RBI night. Henny goes 6, 3 earned runs, 8 Ks. It was the bullpen that really gave them a scare down the stretch, and Gilbreth goes a leadoff for him here. I guess this was somewhat of a bullpen game for the Rockies. Not sure. Gilbreth went 26 pitches in that first inning. Not sure how that went. A couple walks. Not sure on that side of it. Moving along, we have the Dodgers 8, Giants 0, and the Dodgers needed this. Otherwise, if they lost this one, they were definitely in trouble when it comes to this division. They answered back quick, and Muncy leading the way with a 3-hit, 2 RBI night. They had a 4 spot in that 3rd inning. Bellinger hits his 5th home run in the 8th inning to add a solo shot, and they added even 3 runs in the 7th as well. Pollock was in there with 3 hits and an RBI. And the Giants were pretty much held to 5 hits, no runs all night. Walker Buehler continues to probably be a leading Cy Young candidate at this point. 7 innings pitched, no runs, 8 Ks, 2.19 ERA. With DeGrom not really pitching on a consistent basis, I would suspect that he could potentially be out of the Cy Young conversation. And if you had to ask me, Buehler's just been completely under the radar. Amazing season for him. He's now 11-1. And picking up big wins and always going deep in games and keeping his team around. DeSclafani goes 2.24 earned runs and 3 Ks, and a rough outing for him. The starters for the Giants are starting to regress a little bit, so we got to keep our eye on that. And the Giants still have a couple game lead on the Dodgers, but they got to be careful. That could evaporate quick, and I have a suspecting feeling that if it does evaporate, that we could see it grow pretty quickly over time. So there you have it. July 28th, MLB games. We had 15 of them. Lots of action on the trade deadline in the games. It was a fun night of watching some baseball. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw last night that I might have skipped over. What was your favorite part of the game? What trades do you see coming up? And all that fun stuff. Let me know. We'll see you guys for the next video. Thanks for watching.